data in other countries and in South Africa, it's proven, the evidence is there, that most new jobs are created by new and emerging businesses. It is not your large established businesses that are creating jobs. And just some recent research, in 2002 to 2008 in the UK, over half of their new jobs were actually from high growth businesses, and those high growth businesses are less than 10% of what we would call small businesses. So in other words, another stat is that in a period of 3 years in a high growth business, they can actually triple their employment in that business. And over the longer term, when we say high growth, we don't mean startups, we mean businesses that are already well on their way 3 to 5 years. Over the long run, if you think about businesses like Discovery, like MTN, Vodacom, etc., about 10 years ago, they were in quite a high growth phase, but they're not exactly old, established South African businesses. And that's the kind of mindset we have to understand. Whenever we talk about SMEs, we're not talking about micro, but we're talking about those companies that are small, which will grow to medium, have the potential to list, and have the potential to become our large established businesses, which are going to be big employers. So with regards to that, on the comment about, let's say, harnessing government's monopoly capital in a different way, government institutions like the IDC, the National Empowerment Fund, etc., really need to be doing more around small and medium enterprise development. There's been a lack of policy clarity from the point of view of saying, yes, they want to support the growth of black industrialists and get large black industrialists of the future incubated today. But on the other hand, we're not seeing sufficient, if you like, practical opportunities or support for smaller black businesses. What we're seeing is, again, the traditional type of financing and not enough innovative thinking. But not to criticize government only, even our South African banks, the established, the big four and further, the whole credit rating process presume some kind of security. If you think about the history of most black South Africans, we do not have the type of security to put forward to be able to buy assets and grow businesses. So there is a missed opportunity there, in my view, in terms of the dialogue and what we could be doing more of. Another missed opportunity, which part of today's response was also to talk about, is business doing enough from the point of view of transformation and promoting change and leadership. Another missed opportunity is the fact that we, again, talk a lot about gender equality and about promoting women in business, but we're not doing enough. Again, the research shows, I think Goldman Sachs published a report about a year ago, that most economies are dampening their growth by potentially 0.5% to 1% by not harnessing enough of the women employment capability in that economy. And I think it's accepted now. There's various indices. There's a McKinsey annual index, there's a Barclays index, there's a World Economic Forum index that measures women on boards, women CEOs, and women in leadership positions across the economy. And the fact that a less diverse company, in terms of its leadership, its exco, actually on key metrics is not doing as well as companies that are performing well. So whether it's, you're talking about their earnings, whether it's their profits, whether it's their dividend payouts, etc. So that lost opportunity cost we all need to accept. It's not, you know, only a South African issue. I think in South Africa we had the advantage that because we were coming into a post-apartheid society, we were looking at transforming ourselves racially. And gender got encapsulated into the whole affirmative action, BEE debate, etc. So most companies had to wake up to the transformation challenge very early on. But the question of a lack of diversity is a global question, and we as South Africans needn't be self-conscious about it simply because of our post-apartheid transformation plans. So within the let's say provocative aspect about what is it that we can do around transformation and leadership, my view is that we have lost the acknowledgement that we can actually use state-owned enterprises. You talked about monopoly capital, actually the strongest being in the state, JP, but actually there is a lot of senior black talent that has been nurtured and harnessed in our state-owned institutions. You can ask about why. Maybe the private sector wasn't yet ready to embrace senior black talent, and maybe there was more fertile ground, more opportunities for them in state-owned enterprises. But if you look at the fact that Sizwe Masana, who was the first black CEO of a major bank in South Africa, actually came out of Telkom, which is a state-owned enterprise. The same with Peter McLaren, who's leading Tiger Brands. If you think back to the fact that he was at SABC for many, many years. Maria Ramos came out of Transnet. Brian Molefe, okay, that may not be exactly private sector. So I think whilst if large traditional corporates are not doing enough to nurture black talent, we shouldn't underestimate the fact that within the state-owned enterprises, yes, they do have many problems. We've actually had a chance to show that you can nurture senior black talent and they move on into the private sector. Maria Ramos has done that at ABSA, and around the gender issue, it took a Jill Marcus to appoint a woman to lead the bank. Wendy Lucas-Bull is there now. So I'm just encouraging all of us not to write off state-owned enterprises from the point of view of either their investment potential in infrastructure and their nurturing of talent. Ketso Gordon also came out of the public sector, if you recall, and it's done very, very well subsequent to that.